Hi everyone, I have a pretty bad video for you today. So I have a Mesa Badlander 100, I have a Mesa Badlander 25, and I have a Mesa Mini Rectifier 25, not the one that blew up. The one that blew up is behind me on the workbench. So a few folks have asked, how does the baby bad boy compare to the bad boy? And I figured what I would do, I won't play the Badlander too much. I'm going to go to a belligerent volume level, and then I am going to dial it back, and we will do the 100 and our 50 and our 20 watt mode on the 100, and then we will go to the Badlander 25. We're going to do pretty much the same riff that we've done with all of the videos. So we'll go from here to here, and then once we power this guy off, we'll go from here to this guy. And just kind of give you an idea, because a lot of folks know how loud the Mini Rectifier is. They don't know how loud the Mesa Rectifier Badlander 25 is. So this will give a little bit of a comparison. Bear in mind the video is from an iPhone 11, so the audio is not going to truly represent the powerhouse that these amplifiers are. So without further ado, what we've done in the other videos, if you're not familiar, we just did a quick up D to E, C, B, A, little pull off on the G, F, G, A, and just kind of chugged a little bit. And our settings, I'm going to use very similar settings here. It looks like on my 100 I have my treble and my mids a little bit higher than I do on the 25. Presence is about the same, bass is a little lower on the 100, and that's okay, we can check all this out. So right now we're going to go to the dirty channel of the 100. We are in 100 watt mode. We are at about 830 for our volume. So this is 100 watt mode, 830 on the volume. Going to do that riff we do. Going to go to 50 watt mode. Going to go to 20 watt mode. Back to 100. I have a baby in the house, and I have neighbors that I kind of get along with, and I don't want to cause them any grief. So I'm going to do this very quickly. I'm just going to go D to E in a quick chug, you know, dun, 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 dun. But I'm going to put the Badlander 100 in 100 watt mode, which it is, and we're going to go to noon. So this is halfway up. It's going to be belligerently loud. Same volume level, but with the 20 watt mode, and it's still going to be obscenely loud. Going to dial back to the 9 o'clock area in 100 watt mode. Giving this a second here because you've noticed with the other videos, after I play something very loud and then I try and speak, it doesn't seem to capture it as quickly. So that was our riff there that we did. I'm going to plug in the speaker cable to the Badlander 25, and I'm going to go at that half. Then we're going to come to about that 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock range, and then we're going to come down to 8, and we're going to go with our multi-watt settings. So before I do that real quick, I'm just going to play a D to E, and we're going to leave it at 9 o'clock, and then we're going to go to 50 watt mode, 20 watt mode, and then I will take in 100 watt mode the volume all the way off, then where we start getting perceivable volume. So here we are in 100-watt mode. Watt mode. 20-watt mode. Back to 100. Volume off, and then we're just going to roll this up until we get perceivable volume through the speaker. So the guitar is actually louder than the cabinet right now, or louder than the amplifier. So that's about a bedroom volume. And then about that 8 o'clock area. Okay, now we're going to switch amps to our other guy here. So we're going, and that was in the bold power setting. I should have mentioned that. So we're going to go Badlander 25. I do not have a load plugged into it, and that is okay because that will not harm this amplifier. There are 3 Mesa amplifiers that you will not blow up if you don't have a load connected to them, and they are all the Badlander family, the 100, the 50, and the 25. Said it before, why buy a 50 when you can buy a 100? Because it comes with 50. So here we are at the Badlander 25. We have the power on, standby setting here, that way we're going to warm up. And we will start, we're going to go to the loudest one first and get it out of the way. So this is at noon. And 25-watt mode, I'm just going to go den, D to E, and then we'll switch it to the 10-watt, and then we'll mess with some of the settings there. And then we're going to go to the mini rectifier, which do not turn that on without a load. That amp will not like it. So here we go. We're going to take our standby off, and this is at half volume. Now, I want to point this out. That pop, that would be capacitors discharging for the wattage mode. Somebody made a comment that I can't remember if they said they had a 50 or a 100, and it didn't do that. If you noticed, my 100 didn't do it either. So I'll have to go back to that and address that comment. But anyway, back to the amplifiers here. So we're at 10 watt, volume at noon. .25 watt, volume at about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 25 watt mode. You heard it at the noon setting. The amp does sound better louder. Comparatively speaking, I think the 100 is going to give you probably more usable tones throughout the range. I like the 100. I've said this before. If I could only have one amplifier that I own, it would be the Badlander 100. And take that with me saying I also own the holy grail of Mesa amplifiers. I have a Mesa Mark II C+, and I would take my Badlander over it. And I would sell my my 2C+ over the Badlander, not just because the 2C+ is worth about 5 times as much, but I like the Badlander that much. So the Badlander Mini, I like it a lot too. We're going to do that same riff we did because you're going to want to hear that side by side with the Mesa Mini rectifier. That's one of the riffs we played, and then we're going to play the other one also. So there you have that. Now we're going to switch amplifiers again. And remember what I said, don't plug in your mini rectifier and turn it on without a load, because that is one of the Mesa amplifiers that will blow up if you do that. So here we have our mini rectifier. We're still through the same cabinet. It's a Mesa vertical 212 with vintage 30s. So we have our power on. We're going to go to our second channel, and our master, I have it off right now. Let's go to, I want to say this before I get anywhere. These knobs are way better than these metal dome piece of shit knobs that you can't see. So I think I'm at about 9 o'clock on my mini rectifier. So now that those tubes probably have voltage across the plate, let's do a quick EQ on this. And we're going to go with a similar EQ, even though we're going to need to change it just because of how the rectifiers sound versus the other series they have. So here we are. I'm going to turn the bass back just a little bit on this, dial back the presence just a touch, and because we can, we're going to do this very briefly. I have this just over halfway up, so about 1 o'clock. Just going to do D to E real quick, roll my volume back, and then adjust some settings here. So here we go. Now we're about at the 10 o'clock range on this volume. So what I notice, and I'm speaking loudly so the phone picks this up, is that the mini rectifier didn't get that much louder from the 9:30, 10 o'clock to the noon range. It had a little bit more body to it. Maybe it was being pushed a little bit harder. So I'm thinking output-wise, these are very, very similar amplifiers. And I think that maybe just the sweep on the knobs is a little different. So we're in the modern mode also with this. 25 watts, the second channel of the mini rectifier. So here we go. We're going to do that riff again. And we're about, looking at that, just shy of 9 o'clock. So here we go. Going to switch real quick to the other amp. went back and forth through some of the settings there while I was just hitting the E. I want to do this too. So my gain is at about 1 o'clock on this amplifier. I'm going to dime the gain because someone had mentioned that the amplifier, they didn't think it had enough gain for them. So we're going to dime the gain. Gain at 9 o'clock. Gain at noon, and we're going to go back to that 130 area where I was before. And we'll give you one final tone with that. Maybe. Let's see if I have a cable here to do that in my box. I should have one in my... There we go. We'll give you a special treat. We're going to run a Keeley modded tube screamer into it. Settings on this tube screamer. Drive is at 11 o'clock, tones at 11 o'clock, levels at 11 o'clock. So we're just going to put this here. It's going to be kind of ugly looking how I do this, and that's okay. We're going to see if we can get this cable in there too. Look at that, we're in. Our battery's on. So this is tube screamer engaged with our gain at about 130 on the amp. Take the tube screamer off. Put our screamer back on. And just because we can, we're going to go a little bit louder on our volume for our amp. So we're at about 930 right now. Let's see if I can figure that out again. I knew it would come back to me. Turn our tube screamer off, do the same thing. And we'll add a little bit more drive to the tube screamer when we turn it back on here. A little bit of level to bring that up. So let's turn that drive up a bit. Turn our tube screamer off. So there you have it. Those are some tones from the Mini 25 Badlander. I need to quit calling it the Mini. The Badlander 25, the Badlander 100 with a comparison between the two, and also the Mini rectifier with them. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come grab the phone camera, and I want to show you the difference in the texture between these two amplifiers. So the Badlander 100 has the leather style texture, and the Badlander 25 has the more plasticky looking stuff here. So let's bring you on over. Bear with me. So these are the settings that we used for the Badlander 100. These are the settings we used for the Badlander 25. These are the settings for our tube screamer. That's a Charvel. This is a mini rectifier. I don't know if you can see these goddamn knobs. This is one of the things that pisses me off about that amp. The workaround on it is you can color the potentiometers, the knob covers, and you can put a glow-in-the-dark dot on it. But here's the texture on the 25. Here's the texture on the 100. Here they are together. Come over to my workbench here. You can look inside a blown up mini rectifier 25. It's not a good sign. Let's see if I can do that without breaking it. Put it back on my bench. And then you know what? I don't think I showed this in the other one. So here, I know I showed you the back of the 25, but I don't think I ever showed the 100. Come to think of it, I don't think I ever did a video on the 100. So here's inside. That's the 25. Here's the 100. Back to our fronts. Okay, that's it for this video. I have one more that I want to do this evening before it gets too late. I want to show you the Badlander 25 and the mini rectifier through a Mesa 110 cabinet. I have one of the Mark extension cabs, and let's see if we can get that thing pumping. All right, that's it for this one. See ya.